My name's Sean Wright. I'm reporting on behalf of Ringwalk UK Media, and I'm joined by none other than the showman himself, Tyrone McKenna. Tyrone, how are you?
All good, just sore from Friday night, but all good.
Good stuff. Let's get straight to it. Congratulations on a fantastically entertaining fight against Jose Felix. First of all, we'll come to the occasion in a moment, but anyone who saw your interviews beforehand, you promised the fans you were going to give them a war, and boy, did you deliver on that, didn't you?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I can't promise them a war and then go out and bore them. So I'm sure it was very strange for a 6'1" southpaw to walk down from corner to corner a small Mexican, but I had to give the fans what they wanted. There was 8,000 crying for a war, so I love to please the fans.
You certainly do. Some of your work in that fight, like you said, you walked a Mexican down. Some of the left hooks that you threw were absolutely scintillating, but with the greatest of respect, I remember when you spoke to me before and you told me one of the first conversations you had with your trainer, Peter Taylor, was he sat you down and said, stop getting into wars. So again, like I say, with the greatest of respect, are you a boxing fan's dream and a trainer's nightmare? Is that fair to say? Did you get a ticking off from Peter or?
See, to be honest, no, not for this fight, because we studied him and even though he is Mexican and a tough man, he doesn't like pressure. So the game plan to win the fight was exactly what it done. Go out, walk him down. He always went from corner to corner, and he always was there. He was dangerous, but I think that's the right game plan. Is to walk him down because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like pressure. So
yeah.
I mean, Pete was very happy with the way it performed. Surprisingly, but I mean, he did give me a tell off about a few things, but ultimately that was the game plan going into. That's what Pete wanted me to do. He wanted me to cut off the ring, keep jabbing, and when he's backed up into the ropes or into the corner, then to let it flurry off, and that's exactly what I was doing. So
yeah,
I'm happy. He's happy. We're all happy. And I see
everyone's
after
happy.
that last the fight against O'Hare Davies, I think you realize that the judges don't really like people on the back foot. They don't score the way they should. So I mean, we'll have to adapt. We'll have to adapt that way. It's the way you have to box to win there is going front foot and pressure and taking the fight. So that's what he said I should do from now on. So
Yeah, it's ironic. I was going to mention that to you before, like without dwelling on it too much. A lot of people and a lot of pundits say that about your attributes and you're able to box well and keep it long. But in hindsight, like you said, ironically, maybe a bit more pressure. It's easy to say now, but do you think that might have been the way with O'Hara?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I thought I had done enough to win. I thought it was boxing great, but looking back on it, maybe I should have threw more and pressured him more. And maybe it was too reserved and boxing too much. When it should actually be throwing a bit more punches. So yeah, like I took away from that fight that you can't think you're winning a fight just because you're outboxing someone on the back foot. You need to be pressuring, you need to be throwing shots, and that's exactly what I'm doing nowadays.
Yeah, you mentioned there about preparing for a Mexican in Felix, but how difficult was it for you to have to readjust your plans? You've had it in the past where you've got replacements, but was there any point where it was put to you and you didn't want the fight, given that we've seen a few people slip up against Mexican replacements? Was it anything that crossed your mind, or?
No, well, at the start of camp, my mind frame was I'm having a war. I'm 100% going to war in my next fight. And when Turov pulled out, he actually pulled out like 6-7 weeks before the fight. And we got that replacement in straight away. So he had good notice. It wasn't like it was announced 2 weeks before the fight, but he knew a long time before that. But I chose him. I was given a few opponents. I chose the Mexican because I've got war in my mind. I know what Mexicans are like. They're going to give a war back. So to me, it made sense to pick him. The Turo fight, that's what I was training for. I was training for to walk him down as well. So I think it made sense to pick a Mexican that wouldn't be too hard to get in a war with.
Yeah, you certainly didn't have to look for each other, did you? Going back to the occasion, again, an amazing occasion. Tell us, mere mortals, what it's like when you stood there waiting to do your ring walk and the music's on and they're chanting your name. I mean, what's the overriding emotion? Is it pride, excitement, fear? What is it?
I don't know. It's like when you're in school and you've got a fight after school and all your mates are walking down the lane with you to get to your fight. You feel like you've got a lot of people to impress and what would you say? I just feel like I've got my city on my back. I'm representing my city, and I'm hyping myself up, knowing that the fans are unbelievable, and I love Belfast, so I want to do them proud. And them chanting, like the respect they show me and the love that they showed me before the fight, it gives you goosebumps, and it's unbelievable, an unbelievable feeling. I think it's a feeling that would be honorable.
Sorry, mate, I've just lost your audio there. Just 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're back, mate.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened there. Just lost the back end of it, but we got the most part, don't we? Thank you. Yeah, it's been well documented about the golden contract and what went on. Since then, you've dusted yourself down. Obviously, you performed really well in the final. It wasn't to be, but you've dusted yourself down, cracked on. You've had noisy fights. How much has your big personality and your character sort of got you through taking a defeat? Because there's a lot of...
Sorry. I'm in an interview here. Oh, sorry. What's up?
Sorry. So yeah, just talking about your big character, dusting yourself off, getting back in big fights. Is that testament to your character and the way that you're made? How difficult was it sort of getting back in the saddle straight away and just getting big fights again?
That's me. Like I don't want to, as I've always said, I don't like warm-up fights. And even when I was like turned pro, I didn't really want to have journeyman fights or taking over fights or anything like that. I hate them. I like being in the spotlight. I always have. All my life. So I always want to be involved in big fights and hard fights and ones that get everyone talking about. And I didn't think. I think after the hard Davies fight, I was worried maybe I would be forced to have a warm up fight or something like that. But Jamie, my manager, he done a great job and he got me a massive fight straight away for an unbelievable title. So he's a legend for that. And do you know what? I love it. I love everything to do with big fights. I don't think I'll ever have a warm up fight again or a taking over fight because it's not for me.
Yeah, I think people watching that event, I think most people, when they saw you waiting to make your entrance, people can tell and people know that you just thrive in that big environment. I think, don't you? You relish that big time pressure, I think.
Yeah, I've always said I love the spotlight, as I said earlier, and I love being like knowing that I'm getting the tough fight. Like people go out, it's unbelievable. You know, in like a few yards you're going to be having a war. And it's something I just love. It gets me excited, and I love entertaining people. And before walking out to the fights, I know for a fact I'm going to be entertaining people, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So, yep,
yeah,
big nights on me.
I mean, you touched on it there about entertaining people, and you're very much of the thought that it's not just about the fight on fight night. It's about the build up. It's about getting people engaged with that fight, and no one's better at that than you. Obviously, we've had the Dumb and Dumber sword fights. We've had the Tom Cruise style Wayne Day dance. What's coming next? Have you got anything planned?
I have a few things planned, but I actually had a lot planned, but I couldn't film it because I had a bad cut. The 12 days before my fight, so I couldn't even do any filming. That's why I'd only done the one on the weigh-in day.
Yeah.
Usually do it a lot, but yeah, I was put to halt the frat. But yeah, I think it's good to get everyone involved. Like, see how singing at the press conference or the dancing and stuff. Everyone can enjoy it, even if you don't like boxing. It catches random people's eyes,
Yeah.
and they watch it and they laugh, and then they go, "Oh, I might watch his fight, or I might start following him." So it's good to build your fan base doing that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in boxing lack that kind of thing where they'll go on social media and they'll entertain people, or go to the press conference and they'll not say the cliche things. They'll say random stupid shit just to get people talking.
Yeah.
And I think people need to start doing that a bit more.
I don't know about you, but you've definitely hit the nail on the head there. When I was growing up and I was a kid and I was interested in boxing, the ones I gravitate towards, even if people would think they're arrogant or whatever, were your Prince Naz or your Chris Eubank. They had charisma. And I think around the sport now, like you said, there are probably not as many or not enough characters in the game that use that personality and that charisma to sell the sport a little bit more.
About 15 minutes a year, except for your boxing face, you have about 15 to 20 minutes a year on TV talking. So you need to use them 20 minutes wisely, and grab as much attention, get as much headlines as you can, doing whatever to get them headlines. So I think people need to value and appreciate the time that they have in there and really sell themselves.
Most definitely. Who were your influences when you were younger?
Nas, I love Nas. I think he was probably the main. Him and Roy Jones Jr. They'd be my two faves, and they're both very much similar, like cocky killers. They're unbelievable, but they're very cocky and arrogant, kind of, but entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. We talk about you as a showman. You are very entertaining, I must say. But you're a tough man as well. Your record obviously speaks volumes in regard to that. Only 2 defeats, never been stopped. One of the guys that beat you is about to fight for all the marbles at super lightweight. So you're still a big problem in this division. What are your goals over the next sort of year, 18 months? What are you looking to prove in the division?
I always said like that I'm not in this game. Like a lot of people are in for certain titles. I want to be European champion. I want to be world champion. I want to, I don't know, have the most knockouts or whatever. But my aspirations are always to be the most entertaining fighter coming from Ireland and in Irish history, hopefully. And to do that, I think you have to fight the hardest fights there is possible. So whoever's the hardest fight possible, it's a fan friendly fight. I don't want to fight someone that's just going to move and outbox and stuff like that. I want someone that's going to stand there and have a trade off of me, a war. So anyone like that, I mean, Arnold Barboza, I'd love to fight him. I'd say that'd be a very exciting fight. I've seen also, say the guy, the Britain's fought Ponce, or Ponce is he called?
Yeah.
I mean, me and him have a terrible. That'd be an exciting fight. I just want exciting fights. I'm not looking to talk about titles. Obviously, I'd love to be a world champion, and I want to be world champion, but I'm just going to take it one fight at a time, one exciting fight at a time. Hopefully, I'll reach being world champion. But
who do you think it's been a few times in the making, but do you think the 2-off fight will get rescheduled or?
no, he's never getting a chance again.
No.
He pulled out of the golden contract. He made me fly over to Dubai, and then that fight didn't happen. And then he could have cost me a slot in the field. Thank God he didn't. Thank God he got a replacement. But no, he's a time waster.
Yeah. You mentioned about Lafayette. Obviously, you shared in a fantastic card with Lee McGregor and Michael Conlon as well. Obviously, I would think that would go down as one of the most special moments in your career so far. Is there given that you're an Everton fan as well, maybe Goodison, is there a special venue that you would like to perform at in the future? Have you got a holy grail or?
Well, there's a place called Casement in Belfast. It's I grew up there. I spent all the weekends climbing over the fence and watching the sport in this place, Casement it's called, but it's been abandoned for the last, I don't know, about 10 years. And finally it's got planning permission to get 30,000 seats put into it, a massive venue. So hopefully in the next 2 years it'll be built, and then hopefully I can have a massive fight there, because it's right on my doorstep.
Yeah. Wow, that'd be amazing for the community as well, I would imagine.
Can't wait that built.
Yeah. We often ask boxers, if you weren't a boxer, what would you be? Obviously, you've done a bit of acting in your time. Is that something you'd like to revisit eventually?
Yeah, I love it. Like, acting's much easier in the face than boxing, so I loved acting, enjoyed it. And definitely something. That's what, when I was 21 or whatever age I turned pro, I said to myself, look, I'm good at boxing and I'm good at acting. But with boxing, you only have a short window. With acting, you can go back to any time. So I said I'll go 100% into boxing until I'm finished with that, and I can close that chapter in a book, and then open a new one with acting. So I would love always to go back to acting.
Yeah. We've been asking quite a lot of boxers and some of the industry experts if it eventually gets made between AJ and Fury, where their money would go. First of all, do you think they'll both come through their upcoming bouts unscathed? And if they did and eventually fought, who would you put your money on?
I think they're both in obviously tough fights, but I think they will. I mean, I think Josh is too big for Usyk. I think Usyk's unbelievable skill-wise, but I just think later rounds, Josh is going to obviously land massive blow, and I think Usyk's just too small to take in kind of punishment. But and then Fury's already showed us what he can do with Wilder twice, so I think they will get through, and I think the fight has to be made. It's a huge fight for the sport, and I don't know who'd win. It's a tough one. I mean, Tyson Fury is a much better boxer, I believe. He's unbelievable footwork, hand speed, shot selection, head movement stuff. He's unbelievable at it. But Anthony Joshua is the equalizer. He's a huge puncher. I don't know. It's a great fight. I think I would lean towards Fury.
Fair play. Finally, just want to ask if you want to end the interview by, have you got a message for any of your fans, or is there anything you want to say after last week?
Just they're all legends. I mean, the atmosphere in that place was insane. It blew my expectations out of the water. I couldn't believe the roar of the crowd, and they're legends. They're just legends. I love them.
Yeah. Well, you're a legend yourself for entertaining us with the fights that you give us, Tyrone. So we wish you well from here at Ringwalk. And thanks for your time once again, and all the best for the future.
Thank you, Sean. See ya.
All right. Take care, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, mate.